Hello everyone and welcome. I am the Honest Mechanic, and today I'm going to show you how to use a chainsaw sharpener. Uh, Been a while since I've uploaded any videos onto YouTube, so I figured let's do something a little bit different. This is a tool that I've just recently purchased. It's been sitting in the garage here for a little bit now. Used it quite a few times. It's handy, and I wanted to just kind of give you a little bit of perspective on if you were looking at purchasing something like this for yourself. I'm going to go through real quick on the operation of this thing, what I think about it, and whether you should maybe consider buying one for yourself. So first things first, let's show you a little bit of a picture of the model that I have here. If I can zoom in on that. There we are. So this is made by Power Fist. It's something that I purchased at a Princess Auto. It's locally around here. And what do you get? Well, you get what you see here. You also get, this disc. This is another disc that I bought for the chains that I'm using for right now. What you would get is the owner's manual here with that particular brown disc at the top. It does come with an extra set of brushes, make it extra long lasting, I suppose. And I purchased it for, like I say, about 80 bucks. What I'm sharpening now, what I have on this wheel here, this is a diamond bit. Because if some of you guys are interested in cutting dirty wood or hard oaks or something like that, this particular chain is a duro chain, and it's from Stihl, and it's carbide tipped. The only thing that will sharpen that is a diamond bit like that. So quite honestly, that's the reason why I ended up purchasing this, because I was tired of having to send chains out to get sharpened. I figured the 80 bucks will make its way back into my pocket fairly shortly. Getting right into it, how do you use this thing? Well, it's actually not as complicated as you think. And before we get anywhere, I'm going to put a disclaimer. Yes, I don't have a guard on this machine, and I would never recommend anybody using it without a guard. It's removed right now for the purpose of the video, just so you guys can see the ins and outs of this thing, showing you the angles of the disc versus the chain a little bit easier. So if I go right back here, what does this do? Well, this, if you go right into the back there, it stops the unit from going any deeper into the kerf of the chain. That's all that really does. So once you've figured out how deep you want that in there, you've adjusted that here, and that's what that adjustment does. The next adjustment would be this little guy here, which brings your chain stopper in and out so that you can adjust again where this tooth lies against, if I can zoom in here, sorry about the video, hold on, where it lies against this tooth. So you want to have that at the right angle. Now again, the other adjustment is exactly that right here, your angles. So you've got 30, 15, and 0. So you can also bring this to a 0, bring this stopper further in or further back, so you can actually bring down the rakers, which are right here. That's something that I can cover in the next video. Right now we're going to concentrate on how to properly sharpen this chain. Again, this is a carbide tip chain, so it's super tough to sharpen, which is why I had to go buy, ironically enough, this disc was worth more than the actual sharpening unit. So is it something that you would want to buy? Well, if you're an avid woodcutter, or if you sharpen chains quite often because, for example, you're heating your home with wood or a garage or something like that, and you're constantly finding yourself having to sharpen by hand, or you're tired of having to send your chains in for getting sharpening, for 80 bucks I would say, yeah, it works pretty well. You do get what you pay for. Stuff like, you know, loose parts, and I've had to make these little shims, so to speak, to try and keep things kind of tight while I'm sharpening to keep the angles perfect. But it's a small price to pay. You know, making a couple little MacGyver repairs. Would I purchase one again if it failed? I think I would. I do enjoy using it. I think it works fairly well. My only complaint is I find that the motor is a little bit on the weak side. If I'm sharpening a regular chain, it seems to be better, But for what I'm doing here with, again, these carbide tip chains, the 1.5 amps that this motor provides is kind of weak. It's a little bit, yeah, it'll do the job, but I can easily stall this chain, or sorry, this disc onto that chain if I'm not careful. Hope you guys kind of liked the video. Again, this is just a little quick recap on what I think of this sharpener and whether you guys would buy one or not. If you have any comments, leave them below.